Good evening, movie ghouls. Welcome to the Ultimate Movie Geeks 31 Films in 31 Days Halloween Countdown. Tonight we watched The Strangers.
The Strangers, made 2008, starring Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman. They're the only people I know. Is about a couple who return from a wedding night do, and they're in this sort of log cabin-y house in some woods. Looks like it's secluded from everywhere else. And it's early hours of the morning, but they get a knock on the door, and something sinister is afoot. What?
Alright, Sherlock. It's basically a film where the guy has proposed to his girlfriend at the friend's wedding, and it starts with them sort of having a bit of a flashback as they're driving home. They're both silent driving home. She's in tears, so it's obviously not gone well. And the kind of story unfolds from there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
She'd said no, she doesn't feel ready. They still love each other, but he's devastated.
Yeah.
It's like 4 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
like they're having drinks because he's gutted. She said no. They've got like a record on. It's not dead rowdy or anything.
No.
They're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but I get the impression
It's not too far away.
it's not too far away, but it's a bit out on its own. It's his family's holiday home.
Yes.
And they're just about to sort of start getting it on, aren't they?
Yeah.
Think, you know, like not make-up sex, but
Break-up
that type
sex.
of thing. And there's a knock at the door. And they go and answer.
For some reason.
Yeah,
You'd just carry on,
just
wouldn't you?
crack on, wouldn't you? I wouldn't, yeah.
That's why we're married.
So they open the door and it's a woman and you can't see her face. The light's out, the outdoor light.
Yeah.
And she asks for like, I don't know,
If someone's home.
Tamara or
Yeah.
something like that, and they're like, no,
No.
nobody was here, call that. And she's quite weird, and she's like, are you sure? They're like, yeah. So she sort of goes, they shut the door, he sorts the light out because he turns it, the bulb.
Yeah.
They shut the door and they sort of start talking, then he decides he's going to go off. I'd have thought they'd have gone back to it.
Well, yeah, but he's that time to think, and he's
Yeah.
still upset, so he goes for a
He
drive.
goes for a drive, he said it won't be too long, you relax here.
Yeah. She sticks on a record.
Yeah, and it's obviously not long after there's a knock at the door.
Another knock. Well, no, it's more bangs, isn't it?
Yeah, like more violent bangs, and she's a bit, whoa.
It's the girl again. She doesn't open the door this time.
No, she just talks through the door,
yeah.
doesn't she? And it's the same, she asks for the
Yeah.
same person, and she says, you've already been here. And she says the same thing, are you sure?
Yeah, are you sure?
And it's like she's repeating the same stuff she'd said. So she kind of like clicks the snake down, doesn't she? Which I think, Christ, I wouldn't have been on my own in a house like that with. And it kind of unfolds from there, doesn't
Yeah.
it? It starts to get worse. She's on her own. She's hearing bangs outside, and it's actually really creepy because she goes to drink of water. She's getting changed. She rings her boyfriend, and she's like, can you come back? I'm a bit scared. That girl's come back and it's noisy and I'm a bit worried. And he's obviously saying, yeah, right, I'll come back. So
But what do we see?
in the background, in the dark of the room, like behind her, is a face, like a mask. And it's just watching her.
Yeah.
But they're really like, they're not trying to hide the fact, they're trying to creep her out.
Yeah.
But it's just she doesn't know that they're there. So then they'll sort of move back. And it's like, this film creeped me out. This is only the second time I've watched it. Still didn't like it. It made me really anxious watching it again. And the first time I watched it, it stayed with me for a long time. And I think it's because it's something that can happen.
You can put yourself in that situation, can't you?
It happens all the time. That the guy who wrote and directed it, he took the Manson murders and I can't remember what they're called, like cabin
you said
murders,
before, didn't you?
basically.
Yeah.
They had a family and a load of kids, and I think the kids' friends were killed, but kids sleeping in a different room weren't, and they've never known to this day what had happened, and he kind of drew the inspiration for the story from it. And it basically just, you know, he gets back, he thinks she's, I don't know, like not attention seeking, but she's like, there's nobody here. And he looks out and he's like, look, there's no, but she'd seen somebody at the window just before he got back.
Which almost, you actually kind of think, because he comes back and he's wearing a suit, and you could think that it's actually him doing it. But then there's the woman as well. But yeah, it's an interesting film. It does put you on edge. It makes you feel uncomfortable. But I think that, again, that's because you can put yourself in the situation.
You've been in the house on your own in the night time. You know, we've all heard a bang and gone, God, what's that? Can you imagine if somebody at your window with a mask on?
Even though it's a good shot where she's in the kitchen and this guy emerges from the darkness and he's there just staring at her and all that stuff.
Just silent.
What is he trying to do at that point?
They're just trying to terrorise at that point. They're trying to get
but he's already in the room. He's not doing anything. She's looking out the window and he's just there. He doesn't do anything. It's almost like the shot is solely for us because she doesn't react to him in any way.
No.
And he doesn't do anything. I suppose it's just a way of showing us that he's in the house. Yeah,
because he's there and she doesn't know he's there. And that's what they did with the Manson murders.
Yeah.
That's what happened with the Sharon Tate murders and everything. They really played with them and they messed with them, didn't they? They got them outside and all sorts. But yeah, I mean, he's there. He then realises something is happening. So it all starts kicking off and you're seeing these faces with these masks on, like creepy masks.
His car's been trashed as well.
Yeah, he goes out to his car and it's been trashed, and that's, I think, when he's like, shit, what's happening? They then go back, all that's kicking off, they go back to get into his car to drive. Like you said, you'd have floored it, because one of them was stood in front, and while they were sort of looking at what he was doing, they came up behind in a pickup truck and sort of crashed in their car, so they couldn't drive.
But you'd have
floored it. Yeah. I don't know. You say you would, but they hadn't done anything other than trash his car at that point. Would you really run somebody over? I'd have probably drove around them and scared them. I don't think
I'd have driven away.
Yeah.
I'd have got out of there.
I mean, they end up going back into the house, and then they realise this. They start like the people who try to get in, the strangers, like axing the door.
That's the name of the title.
And it's a little bit reminiscent of The Shining, isn't it? So they try to keep them out and they're chucking stuff. He finds his dad's hunting rifle. Yeah. Doesn't really know what he's doing, but manages to get some shots in. Shoots the hole, misses the guy. I'd have waited. I'd have blown.
Yeah, you'd have. They have a good plan.
I'd have tried anyway.
They have a good plan. It's hiding in a room that has no windows, and wait for them to come and get them. Yeah, sort of
in a corner so they can't get them.
It backfires when someone else turns up in the film. Obviously, spoilers. It's his mate turns up and his trigger finger goes and kills him.
Yeah. Because earlier, like when he got back, he'd rang his mate and said it didn't go to plan. Yeah, it really didn't go effing plan, sort of thing. So his mate was worried. He picked up the voicemail and drove to him. He said, and he rang Dinny from outside and said, "Yeah, I'm outside. I'm going to come in just to let you know."
But now he does the same thing. He's walking through and it's all trashed.
Yeah, the car's all trashed and like the door's trashed, but he just walks. I'd have gone back to the car.
You'd have shouted as well.
Yeah, but the music was playing, so I think that's the point. I couldn't hear him. So as soon as he appears, he shoots thinking it's one of the guys, but it's actually his best friend. So he kills his best friend.
Him. But then again, I know, you can't put yourself in that situation because you wouldn't know what you do.
You think you know what you do, but what you actually do would be probably very different.
You'd have to hunker down back into that room and wait for them to come because you have the gun. You know where they're coming from.
You've got the upper hand,
yeah.
They did a lot of mad shit that I wouldn't have done, like separated at one point and you were out.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo logic.
Yeah, and it's just, it does work, the film does work. There's a couple of bits where you think, you wouldn't have done that, you wouldn't have left her and she wouldn't have gone.
Yeah, and then he gets incapacitated and then you're following her, you don't know what's happened to him and you're following her, she's wearing no shoes for some reason at this point. I know Die Hard, but that's different.
If you've got no shoes on, you're vulnerable.
Well, yeah. She got dressed though. She got out of the dress and into clothes.
Yeah, but I don't wear shoes around the house.
At one of her house, she might not have had shoes there.
Well, she should have done that.
Yeah, she would have done. But then she's running out into the woods and then she falls into a little trench and she hurts herself. So then she's incapacitated herself. And it's a cat and mouse game because they know at every point where she is, but she doesn't know where they are, and that's what I think gives us the fear, because there's a scene where she hides in a not a closet.
It's like a room, but they've got like the closet doors. You know, they've got the classic American doors for the closet, and you look through them.
But the guy comes in, and he's pretty good because you don't see his face. All you can hear is he's like a whistly breathing.
Sounds asthmatic.
Yeah, he does.
He needs his ventilating, doesn't he?
Yeah, Michael Myers, because he breathes as well. And then he leaves, but then one of the women comes and
just starts smashing the door in because they know she's there. But it basically gets up to the point where they've tied him up. They get her, he knocks her out, doesn't he? She goes back in the room to hide, but he gets her. And they both wake up in the chairs tied up, and they're all cable tied. And then one by one they take the masks off, so
and then as
they
soon as the masks are off,
that they're going to kill them. So she's sort of begging for their lives, isn't she? And the guy's just accepted it. He just holds her hand and he doesn't look at them. He's just looking at her.
Yeah.
Because he knows that
as soon as it's in the face, you're not going to survive.
No. And they do. It's horrible the way they do it. They kind of take turns.
Take turns, yeah.
Really slowly stabbing them. It's disturbing. It's a really disturbing film.
At the end, you hear one of them say when they're driving off, it'll be easier next time. So they're going to go again and do it.
Yeah.
And I think there is a sequel to it.
Yeah, there is. Strangers 2. I've not watched it.
No, I haven't. Next year.
And it makes you think as well at the end, because they spend all night there basically, and they leave, so they're not worried about getting caught, and they leave in daylight, don't they? Drive off bold, and there's 2 young boys on bikes. I thought they got school.
I did actually.
But they've got like Christian pamphlets, and they pull over, and you think, oh my god, what
they're going to kill them as well.
Kill these kids. And she just sort of say, we don't see the faces.
No, well that's what I was going to say before. Yeah. It's like we don't see remove the masks, but then it cuts or it pans down, so we don't see them, which
and you don't see her talking to the boy, and she says, and she's got that really
like soft,
voice,
isn't it? Yeah.
Can I have one of those? And he said, are you sinner? Because obviously the Christian.
Sometimes.
And she hands, she gets this pamphlet, they get in the car and drive off, and that's when they say it'll be easier next time.
Yeah.
These boys then stumble across the house and just utter carnage. But they're quite weird because they walk and they see all the cars are trashed, they go inside, he's dead,
one of them's looking at the body, and then another one's looking at another body, and it's like, well, they're acting a bit weird themselves.
No, you would be shitting.
As soon as you saw the first body, you'd be out of there.
You'd be ringing the police. Your bumhole would be going a million miles an hour, wouldn't it?
Okay.
It would. Mine would. But again, a spoiler. We assume she survives because as he's leaning over, she sort of screams. She grabs him and screams. But it's awful because after it's all finished and before they find her, she hears a phone ringing and she comes to him and she's a mess, and she crawls to the phone. She tries to answer it. And then they're still there.
They're still there. He walks over and takes the phone away.
He takes the phone, and she kind of puts her arms over, waiting for him to stab her again.
Well, and he doesn't, because he knows that he's done.
And that nobody's going to find them, type of thing. And she's bleeding heavily, and he just leaves. And it's like, oh God, can't go. It's a really clever film. Really enjoyed it. Very well acted. I don't know the guy. I obviously know Liv Tyler.
No. Speedman. He was the vampire Wolfman hybrid from the Kate Beckinsale Underworld films.
Oh, right. No, I wouldn't have got that.
No, I wouldn't have got that. I don't know why I know that.
No. I like Liv Tyler. Liv Tyler's good. I met her once.
Did you? You walked past her?
I walked past her. It's the same thing. Nodded at her and she nodded back. Fleetwood Mac concert. She was with Kate Moss. I was like, oh. Anyway, yeah, it's a good film. I really enjoyed it. It's scary. I'm name dropping, makes her sound famous. My friend Liv.
I met Patrick Stewart.
Not the same.
Whatever. And Carl Urban.
I was thinking you meant Patrick Swayze then.
That would have been cool. Not now, obviously.
Yeah, I really enjoy this film. Some people might say it's not like a horror scary. It actually is terrifying.
I think
it's a terrifying film.
We seem to be going through different genres of horror, and I think this lives up to it's 11 years old now.
It's a disturbing film,
and it's still good.
It could have been made.
It's quite timeless, even though they've got mobile phones and it.
Yeah, the
you
phones
don't
are a bit
really
old.
see it, but other than that, I think it still lives up to what it.
Yeah.
You know.
It's so scary because it could happen to anybody, really. It could, and if anybody knocks at your door at dead o'clock in the morning, you ignore that front door. You ignore it.
Make sure you lock your doors and windows at night, and everyone's tucked in tight.
It sounded like you were trying to do a little poem. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a 4 again.
I knew you were gonna say 4.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it 3, just because some of the shots are for our benefit. Other than, although saying that, no, I'm gonna give it a 4 because there's not many jump scares in a horror film around the early 2000s that haven't got jump scares in. I think it's quite So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4 as well.
I do think it's clever.
It is good.
And it's more relatable because this could happen to absolutely anybody at any point, and I think that's what makes it more terrifying. And you know it happens because the whole fact the writer director has drawn from real life things.
Yeah, so it can happen.
Yeah.
Again, lock your doors. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And
Podcast?
Yeah, podcast. Yeah, I asked you. We have a podcast that we do weekly. Me and my mate Craig, Stick of the Dump, Lambert. We talk about movies. Last week's was about Joker. This week we should be doing something on Terminator, but it's finding the time to do it. So yeah, please find it out. It's called Man About a Dog Movie Podcast or Mad Movie Podcast. There we go.
See you tomorrow.
Sleep tight.